everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of the My Open Source Experience podcast. Today, we will talk about internships and mentorships in, well, mostly open source communities, but probably a little bit in general as well. And I have Engin Kayraklioglu with us as a guest today. And before we dive into the exciting topic of internships and mentorships in open source communities, Engin, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself? What is your background in tech and what do you do currently?
First of all, thanks for having me in your podcast. My name is Engin. So I'm a computer engineer. I'm interested in parallel programming in general, and maybe kind of a career goal is to make parallel programming more accessible to more people. And right now I'm a software engineer working on a couple of open source projects at Hewlett-Packard Enterprise.
Do you remember when you first learned about open source, the concept and open source projects?
Yes, actually I do. Maybe it goes all the way back to undergrad, like 14, 15 years ago, even. Like I was trying to help a research group in my school back in Turkey, and I was tasked to learn something about GCC. For those who don't know, GCC is one of the biggest compilers out there. It compiles C code, and like even though maybe I knew the term open source, at that moment it dawned on me that, well, I can actually take a look at how it's implemented and how it works. So that was probably my first like real brush with open source, like looking at real production grade, huge open source application. Of course, I didn't understand much of it. I was just an undergrad back then. But it was probably my first real open source experience in terms of looking at open source code. And of course, I didn't contribute to GCC or anything like that, but right now I'm in open source.
So if I understand it correctly, you were looking into compilers and the GCC compiler specifically, and then you realized that it isn't just a compiler that is available to you to use, but it is also a compiler that you can kind of look under the hood and look into the box and figure out how it's put together.
Exactly. And that was huge. Like I can put a printf in the compiler and rebuild the compiler and compile my C code and see my printf coming out of compiler, which was a big thing for me back then.